All right, so welcome to Intuition to Income. This is Abby Gooch. I am so excited you are all here, and I have a dear friend, Christy Whitman, who I haven't talked to for like 10 years, but I was like, hey, you want to be on the show? I'm feeling you. So we're totally vibing on the same wavelength of light here. And really, I brought her on to chat about just the universe and our connection to our intuition and how to manifest from that place. So I feel like she is just such an expert at that. And also, I just want you to be able to introduce yourself even more, Christy. So just welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's so much fun to co-create with you again, Abby. And I know it's been a while, so it was such a fun blast from the past when I received your request. I was like, heck yeah. So happy to be here. And hi, everybody. I'm Christy Whitman. I'm an author. I have my seventh book. Actually, it's not true. I think it's like my 10th book if I really count, ebooks and stuff like that. But my book is coming out in September called The Flow Factor. I'm a two-time New York Times bestselling author. I teach on universal laws, manifestation, spirituality. I'm a master law of attraction coach, and I actually certify law of attraction coaches. So I've been in the industry for about 25 years professionally. I've been doing my own inner energy work for about 35 years. So I've, I I have a lot of experience, and I think experience says a lot. And when you learn what not to do and what to do works,
Right.
right? It's a lot of times it's profound to know what someone's doing that's not working, and then pivot and change in they are doing. I have people tell me all the time, I'm doing everything, I'm trying, I've done everything I can, you
Right.
know. And I get the frustration in that, when things aren't flowing, and you keep noticing contrast, meaning what you don't want. Or things are just, going the way you'd like to, or just go deeper or wider, more expanded, whatever you're desiring.
Right.
When there's something that's just not feeling in alignment, that's where we come into play. So I'm also a channel for the Council of Light, and bring in healing sessions and things like that. So lots changed since last time I talked to you, Abby. I'm still a coach, I'm still an energy healer, but now I'm full person channeling the council, and it's the most rewarding and just amazing thing that I've ever done. So.
Yeah, I love that. So, as an intuitive teacher, I think I must have been feeling you because I was just like, I could just feel there was some key, right, to what we're doing as bringing it. Because it's like sometimes people feel their intuition, but they don't necessarily know what it is or how to act in alignment for that attraction piece. So, I would love for you to share, how you kind of connect in, right? Because right now you're a channel, but everybody is the channel of their own intuition. So, do you have any just advice or guidance how people can actually know what their intuition feels like and also really bring that into manifestation so they're in flow with what they want to attract what they do want, not what they don't want?
Yes, 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 yes. So the first part is that we have to understand that everything is energy. And
Yeah,
if you can just start at the premise and that understanding that crack open an atom, what do you have? You have energy. I mean, whether it's quantum physics, modern science, right? It's like everything is energy. And all energy carries a vibration, and that vibration goes out into the universe, and like a magnet, it draws to itself more things of that particular vibration.
right.
Now, we are not just energy towers sending out signals all day, every day. And we are, and that's where you work with law of attraction, and what you send out comes back, kind of a thing, right? But the missing pieces that most people don't get, and this is where energy mastery really, really comes into play, is that all of us are energy containers. We're energy first, we're energy receivers. We're always receiving energy from some source, whether getting it from our partners or our kids or the neighbors down the road or our boss or coworkers or our parents or in-laws.
Right.
We're it could be driving down the road and at the grocery store, right? We're picking up on other people's energy. If you watch the news, that's a certain vibration, right? If you're doing and engaging in complaining and doing these kind of behaviors, like judging, criticizing, beating yourself up or others, then you're closing down your container for light. And so the way I like to think about it is that we're energy receivers first and foremost, right? So what energy are we under the influence of? What energy are we allowing to fill up our entire energy space? Because that's an important question to ask ourselves. What am I under the influence of? And if there's someone maybe in my life that's negative, or they're just in fear all the time, or they're in worry, or they complain a lot, right? It's like if we hook into them, now we are co-creating with that influence, right? Here's the key, if we allow ourselves to feel neutrality of light, or like what I like to call council calls compassion, that energy of compassion, soothing energy is what it feels like. It feels like there's a calm washing, there's like a relaxation going on and happening, a soothing. When we get into that vibrational space, now we're neutral. And anytime we are connecting with our soul self, our non-physical self, right? The actual life force that lives within the container, then that's where we open up our intuition even more. How we open up our intuition or find the guidance with our intuition even more is, do you let yourself go down the train of worry, fear? We're all do it. We're all humans, right? But it's like stopping yourself down that track, or realizing, wait a minute. Okay, I've been worrying about this thing for 40 years of my life. Am I going to continue to worry about, right? Is this really even helping?
Right.
Right? And making those choices to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to be a willing participant in this thing called worry about this certain thing, person, or subject, right? And instead, I'm going to let myself feel soothing energy. I'm going to bring in light. I'm going to let myself feel compassion, because that neutralizes us. That vibration is what brings us to a place of feeling at least not bad,
Yeah.
right? So when we are, think about it this way, there are like three sets of vibrational spectrums, right? One, like a range of notes and keys, or, vibrations. One of them is lack. And in lack, nothing ever feels good. If we are in any of the feeling of worry, doubt, fear, anger, disappointment, powerlessness, if we're in drama, chaos, complaining, playing the victim, any of that victim mentality, we feel bad. Why? Because the soul part of us, the non-physical part of us, the part that we're wanting to blend with and connect with and listen to and be guided by, doesn't ever go in that vibrational range.
Hmm.
So it can't meet us if we're over there. So how do you increase your intuition? Blend with your soul more, blend with that energy. Again, everything is energy. Get into the minute you wake up in the morning, decide what is the energy that you want to fill yourself up with, and let your container know. What's your container? We have four bodies. We have a mental body, right?
I've
We have
seen
our,
those two in my certification program. It's so funny. It's just
yeah,
true. They're all the bodies. Yeah.
yeah, a mental body, right? You have your emotional body, the physical body, and then our spirit body, or our energy body, or our soul body, right? Those, and all of them need to be treated differently. All of them need to be nurtured differently. All of them need to be attuned to differently. But what happens is that when you start to master your mind, like, nope, I'm not focusing on that thought. I'm focusing on what feels good, on what I want, on what I want to be guided towards, what I ultimately, want to experience, right? And not letting yourself go to a negative thought or worry or any of that kind of stuff. And again, you may coming back into the center bucket. That's where one of the laws that I talk and teach on is the law of sufficiency and abundance. And it's not just law of abundance. You have to get to, you can't be in lack if you're wanting to attract abundance. And again, our souls are always at that vibrational range of compassion and higher, peace, love, harmony, right? And going up. So when you really think about it, each and every one of us has this vortex of energy that is our life force, that is our soul. And that soul vibrates where we focus. So if we're focusing on compassion, our soul vibrates in that particular frequency, right? If we're vibrating in abundance, our soul becomes like morphs. It becomes that energy. So we have access to it. So intuition for me is really about energy, and it's really about interpreting the energy. Because and you're right, all of us are channels of our own selves, right? We're all channels of our higher selves, of our soul selves. And when I allow myself to get so into that space of receiving a higher energy, it's my physical body, even though my consciousness and my mind may be turned off because the council's in, but that energy comes as blocks of energy that then it is interpreted on what that looks like, what that means, all that. So using both the intuition or the energy or the attunement of the soul with the humans, like the two become one. We're not just a human being out on the leading edge. We're not just trying to be a soul. We came here for a reason, right? We came here for the joy of it, the creation of it. We came here for the experience of it. And so we get to have both those aspects, our free will with our soul will or divine will combined and aligned. And when that happens, now you're like in just perfect attunement with your intuition.
Yeah, no, that's beautifully said. Because I was just going to ask you, how do you tune into your intuition? And that is like your free will matches your soul will, which is
Yes.
your intuition guiding you. Because it can be fascinating when your free will is different than what your soul wants. I'd love for you to speak to that because I think that can be a bit confusing for people. And also, you mentioned the interpretation, I think, right? So, like what we make something mean,
Yes.
because something just happens and then the mind can like assign it meaning that can be really painful or very loving. So it's kind of like those 2 points I'd love to at least touch on with you.
Absolutely. So yes, we are meaning makers and
Yeah.
that's what we do, right? It's like we don't have to continue to go, hey, this is a desk, this is a computer. How do I turn the computer on? It's like this is stuff that is learned. And we also do that with things in our lives that are not so concrete, right? There are things that in life like it's either on or off, it's hot or cold. There's the polarity, right? There's up or down, there's in, there's out. But one thing that we do with our minds when we're little, as our minds are very concrete like that, right, is we think something's either all or nothing.
Mhm.
And so if we have say someone's rude to us or we're not getting what we want or we have a belief that well, it doesn't really matter what I want, I don't ever get what I want, or I can dream all I want but I'm just going to end up disappointed, right? Or I don't know what I want, there's so many things, I'm so confused, I feel like I have this white canvas in front of me and I don't know what paintbrush to pick up, right? There's lots of different ways that we as human beings in our daily lives can feel pulled off from ourselves, from our souls. And the part of us, say it's the human that has a desire for something, and the human wants something, and the human doesn't believe that they can have it, the human will be in suffering, right?
For-
If we want something and we believe that we can have it or achieve it or do it or be it, then there's going to be an excitement. There's going to be a growth point. There's going to be a journey to become that. And that's where, when it excites us, when it gets us lit up, that's again that connection point with the soul that you're on the right track,
Mhm.
right? Now, there might be times that, it's interesting because as I get there up in age now, I can look back because of the experience that I've had in my life with manifesting, with my business, with my relationship, with experience, right? To be able to look at something and go, wow, it was in times that I really needed my superpowers. I really needed to be intuitive when I was. And when I let go of my idea of the way it should be or ought to be, right? Because I'm resisting what is, I'm miserable. But the minute I can surrender, I would prefer this, I like this, I surrender it to the greater good for all good. right? Then it becomes not just what you're human. And again, we have human needs and it's okay to create them. And if you want to live in a house, live in your dream house. If you're going to drive a car, drive your dream car, go for it. I mean, spirituality and the idea of being broke or poor or, it's BS. It's like spirituality is prosperity. It's the energy of peace and plenty and prosperity and opulence and beauty. And there's a when you and I are secure financially, emotionally, whatever it is, right? Then what do we want to do? All of our needs are met. All we want to do is help other people create their dreams and live their best lives, right? And that's why we're in such a great time in space in history right now, because we've got so many coaches and so many healers and TikTokers or influencers or whatever you want to call them that are spreading light, that are shifting light in some way, shape, or form, happiness, joy, freedom, right?
Yeah.
Helping people shift their point of attraction from being a human that has these very needs and the reasons why that they have them, like and what they're trying to fulfill, like a childhood disappointment, right? Or I'm trying to finally feel like I'm enough, right? I'm trying to get enough people around me so I can never feel abandoned, right? These are things and motivations that we, again, don't need to judge ourselves for. It's part of the human process, but have compassion for those parts. And then, invite your soul in. Invite your soul in to know any of the parts of you, known or unknown, that are not in alignment with your soul. Let them have a dousing of light. Let them be surrounded in light.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Can you repeat that last sentence? That was powerful. You said any parts known or unknown. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So any parts of myself, known or unknown, that are stuck, that are not in light, that are in struggle right now, that are having a hard time, any of those parts of me, known and unknown. So, because we could say conscious or unconscious or subconscious, right? Like all of those aspects, right? Known and unknown. It just wipes it all. It's like,
Yeah.
soul, I am giving you not just the stuff I'm aware of, the stuff I'm not aware of too. Clear
Yeah.
that stuff up, right?
Yeah.
Transmute that lower level energy into a higher vibration. Because at the end of the day, we are an energy container. What we hold inside of our container will be what we then transmit out and then what we attract back to us. If you have a container, right? You got a container. There's only so much you can pour into that container. If we're filled to the rim with love, right? And someone's around us with fear, by us focusing on the compassion, the love, vibrating in, somebody else can be around us, but our energy transmutes their lower level vibration, because higher vibration is so much more powerful
Right.
than lower vibrations. So
Right.
it's like it trumps it. It,
Yeah.
it transmutes it. It wins. Higher
Yeah.
vibration, right?
Yeah, totally. Love and forgiveness are coming through too. Because it's like if you've ever been hurt, maybe you release it through forgiveness so you can love, right? So I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, but I see like an orb of pink light, right? It was just like coming in and just sending that out and then opening the backside of the heart to actually receive love, right?
And
Because
to release the past too, to
yeah,
release past love, or disappointments of love. As the council said, the front of the body represents future and the back of the body represents past. So really filling up the heart in the front, to the sides, and even the back. That's the unknown, right? There might be parts of me back there that are holding something, and someday they're just going to bring it up for that. I was just telling somebody, my father, I used to grow up with my dad, and he would always go from 0 to 100. He was like Chicken Little, sky is falling, right? And I'm not going to say the word because some people get offended by it, but he would be like, we're effed. It's like, oh my God. There was always some kind of an emergency, and it's very jolting for the immune system. And so I'm very careful whenever there's some situation where I'm not like, oh my God, we're effed, we're screwed, right? The world is coming to an end. It's like, calm down, it's all okay. I heard myself say that a couple weeks ago, and it was like, what? what part of me back there? It's like, who's back there saying that? I thought we agreed that that's not a word or a phrase we're using.
That's cute.
So, it's like you never know when parts of the stuff is going to pop up. But here's the key: letting myself have compassion, known or unknown parts of me, right? Letting those parts be filled up, letting those parts be, I mean, just cradled in soothing energy, letting those parts, because there is no need for forgiveness if you're in compassion and you're having compassion for yourself and the other person that maybe done you wrong because maybe they didn't know, or maybe their heart closed down, or maybe they were scared. When we can first have compassion for ourselves, then and only then can we have compassion as it relates to how we got hurt or betrayed or disappointed by another person, place, or thing.
Mm-hmm.
So giving compassion to ourselves is the process of forgiveness, because we basically let it go. And when we let it go, there's nothing else to forgive.
Mm. Wow. That's beautiful.
But that, I love it. That pink light that you're seeing, it's like it's the light of compassion. It's just that,
Mm-hmm.
pure. I like to say that there's three ways of bringing this in. So there's energy, somatic, and then words. And I'll just go through this really quick. So the energy is the calling of your soul body. It's the knowing that your soul is always vibrating. When you knock off the hill and go into boredom or disappointment or anything, your soul stays there. But it's you that when you call your soul back in and your focus, you forget about the worry and you go, wait, my soul is there for me. And you start to focus on the presence of your soul. You're already shifting your energy and vibration
Mm-hmm.
by just even calling in your soul and just even feeling the shift, even if it's just a tiny little minor shift. By going into that shift, you're shifting away from what you don't want and shifting into that alignment with your soul. And that right there is just bringing in that energy is everything. Just to feel yourself being doused in light, that shifts everything. Take it to a next step further, and that somatic part where we can touch ourselves,
I gotta
right?
tell you something. You know that
Yeah.
song, The Light of My Soul? Like your soul is light. So that's why I almost start crying when you say the word soul, because it's so beautiful. Your soul is light. So just by you saying, I call my soul back in, everybody can feel the light of their soul. It's just
Yes.
so beautiful. Just that point.
Yes.
Love it before
It,
go any further, right? It literally illuminates everything because your intuitive guidance is your soul's guidance. So when you're in alignment with that, you're living your best life. And so you really do exactly, I agree with you. You're bringing in, I'm kind of changing the words, that love and compassion to actually heal parts that have felt hurt in the human experience because
exactly.
everybody has gone through that and it can be kind of like fun and sometimes rough, but the soul is always there. It's always consistent. So I love that you said what you said. And I just wanted to highlight that piece so everybody can really have an experience and bring it in the now moment. Oh, my soul is here. My intuition is here. I'm
Yeah.
going to put my focus there. I'm going to listen to my gut. I'm going to open my heart. I'm going to feel the light in every cell of my body and let it heal, transform, whatever needs to be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just knowing that's the just knowing you have your soul to call on, and that you can feel the light of your soul. That's a game changer
Yeah.
right there,
And
right?
trust it. If it's light and it's loving, that's your soul.
If it feels good, that's your soul. Like, how do I know, right? It's like, because you feel good. Mary Magdalene used to say that God is good. Good is God, and if you know that you're feeling good, you know you're feeling God.
Exactly what I said when I started. When I was like 19. I was like, if you're feeling good, you're feeling God. That's it.
That's it. That's it. Simple as that,
It's
right?
so simple.
So calling in the energy, and then there's the somatic part. There's the give yourself a hug. Sometimes it's a rock. It might be rocking forward and back. It might be those younger parts of you that just need to be, it might be wrapping yourself in just a warm blanket and just, feeling that coziness. It's like at the end of a day, you get into your bed and you get into your pillow, and that sense of relief, that sense of let go. coming from, we were talking about this earlier. I used to live in Montreal, Canada, right? It was really cold there in most of the year. So I would come in the house and get into the front of the fireplace and be like, like that level of soothing. Or if someone would hand me a cup of hot tea and my fingers are freezing, it's like, oh, right, that thawing feeling. Or now I live in Arizona when it's 120 degrees outside and everybody's sweating. When you jump into a cool pool, it's like, right, that level, that somatic feeling, touch. You can rub your shoulder, touch your face, do whatever, find whatever does it for you, where you're just even giving yourself a hug and squeezing yourself. And then the third part is what you say. So bring in the energy, do something to, really rest yourself, to calm yourself, there's a word I'm trying to look for, but
It's kinesthetic
soothe.
feeling. It's
Yeah.
aesthetically feeling. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I was subconsciously just like putting my hands on my legs, and I think it was kind of like inner hugging myself. I'm like, oh, I'm already doing what she's saying, and then like a
Yeah.
affirmation, something positive
Yes.
to follow, like
Exactly. So I
something.
love you, just hey, I got you. Hey, you're all right. Hey, we got this.
Yeah.
Something to encourage yourself,
Yeah.
because words are important. Words matter. And what we say to ourselves, starts the whole creation of what we magnetize. It's like the words are like that spark. I mean, it even says in the Bible, in the beginning, there was the word, right? And so these sparks, these words create thoughts, which then those thoughts create images, pictures. We draw things to us. Then the thought gets thought over and over and over again. And then we see a belief, we have something evidence of it. And then we go, oh, see, it's true. That's how a thought, that's how a bill becomes a law. That's how, what I'm saying? That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Right. And then we get so solidified. I was laughing so hard with my mother. My mom she's almost 89 and always been very, nope, it's this way or it's that way. It's very concrete. You're either right or you're wrong. There's no gray, right? And so she lives at this, 50s plus adult community, and she tells me, she goes, they had rigatoni with Alfredo sauce last night. Yuck. And I went, yum.
I know.
And she goes, yum, no yum. Like that to me, no yum, very 100% Italian, Catholic, just no yum. And I go, what do you mean no yum? No, rigatonis do not go with white sauce. Rigatonis only go with red sauce. I said, well, they do
That's
like
funny.
vodka sauce. And,
Yeah.
I've ordered that in restaurants. No, you're wrong. And I'm like, like that belief system no, mm-mm. Rigatonis go in this box. You cannot have it with anything. I mean,
Mm.
that's like the mind being so, no, I need to hold on, because in a world where rigatonis go with white sauce, I don't understand that. It frightens me. So I want to just stay in this space of what I know, right? And I'm not going to, some generations won't even look at a belief and be able to challenge it or even ask, is this even relevant? Does this even serve me? Right? They just believe what they believed, and many people do. But it's easy to change a belief, because a belief is a thought. And
Mhm.
if you change your thoughts and you change your vibrations, your emotional body connects with your mental body, you're then going to see evidence of something different, and that changes your belief.
Mhm.
But it starts with your words.
Mhm. It does. I guess I just feel like there's also like the heart. Like, what if somebody just feels what they feel? Like, to me, emotions are always more powerful than my thoughts, because I'm such a like heart-centered, like emotional Pisces person.
Totally.
Kind of like I can't really override how I feel very good. So I'm curious, like, what your thoughts are about that. I mean, I'll usually go for a run or something to just get physical to move the energy, but I'm just wondering because I don't ever want to fight, and I don't think anybody wants to fight their thoughts, right? So it's just an interesting, yeah, question.
Yeah, so here's what I suggest, and here's what the council suggests too. If you are already in the throes of an emotion, if you are already feeling that fear, worry, doubt, whatever it may be, right? You already know it's up for you. And you go try to change the thoughts,
Yeah.
it's like you got wild horses that are out of the corrals, and I mean, like they're going, right? It's like, whistling at
Oh
them,
my
and
God,
they're gonna do it.
I always have fun chatting with you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Those
like
wild
they're
horses.
gone.
And
It's a happening.
yeah.
So, right? It's like they've taken off. So, what we need to do in those cases is not go for the mental body, go for the emotional body and be real and be honest and allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling. And we do that by stopping, by being present with the emotions that are already coming up and stop questioning. I mean, I hear women all the time going, I don't know, I'm sad. And it's like, doesn't matter. You have emotions, energy that comes up. I don't know why I'm so angry. It doesn't matter. You've got anger that's pulsating through your body right now. So bring all of your focus and your attention down past even your heart into your lower belly. And below, it's like your first chakra area into the whole womb, belly, intestines. That's the emotional body. And when we bring our focus all the way down into the gut, into that area, Jill Bolton Taylor has written a book on this. Others have said it. It takes 90 seconds. Council agrees with it. It takes about approximately 90 seconds to wave out an emotion, a wave of an emotion. Sometimes people have an ocean of waves that they've been holding back. So one emotional wave out may not get decades of anger, right? But if you keep doing it, keep feeling it, letting it move out, eventually what's inside of your emotional container is going to it's you're changing the volume, right? You let go of the anger and you bring in the light, bring in the compassion, your container is fully going to change. And so you're going to change your emotional set point. So say that I used to be someone that was angry. And that was like the emotion I ever felt was either happy or angry. That's it. I'm either joyful and things are going my way or nothing is going my way and I'm angry. And thank God I'm not like that anymore because that was like my emotional set point. I allowed anger. Fear, no. Doubt, no. Anger. So everything came out and got expressed. It built, and then spewed out as anger. And when I learned to do this, like to really feel my emotions, I'm not angry anymore. I will get angry if a boundary is crossed, but it's a healthy awareness of, hey, that didn't feel good. That person that feels disrespectful, right? That didn't feel right. That didn't sit well with me, and then to assess, to feel whatever I'm feeling, to let it go. Sometimes it's a one and done. Sometimes you can just feel the pulsation of the emotions, like waves, of energy waves releasing. And then remember to fill back up with the compassion, to fill back up with your soul's light. Because if you just let the anger go, void in a vacuum, right? You're gonna literally fill back up with the same vibration unless you replace it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. So let's keep filling our containers with our soul vibration and relate that to money, right? Since it's about intuition to income. So, how following your intuition has helped you make more money. And what I'm really passionate about is making money to then serve people, which I know you and I relate to, right? Because I really feel when you key in with the universe, you're like, hey, I'm working for the universe. And when I'm serving, I will be served because I need to be full to then give, right? So it's just this beautiful dance. So I would love for you to share, how you follow your intuition to greater income and are able to serve.
So again, it's that I get an idea, I get an impulse, right? I'll just share like one that was just so divinely guided and how I did it from start to finish. I had a person say to me, and this is years ago, this is back in 2008. I had someone say to me that they were certifying coaches, and this is how they did it. And so I was like, huh, okay, that's interesting. I don't know why this piece of information is coming into my consciousness right now because I don't do that, nor do I want to, right? But it was an interesting conversation of how they certified trained coaches. So I just kind of let that go. And then I had a person, like literally 2 days later, a client of mine say to me, I want you to certify me in law of attraction coaching. And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't have, I could tell you where I went and got certified, but I don't, I could coach you on it, but I'm not going to. So oh no, you got to do it. You got to, I mean, I'm telling you, I want to learn from you. You're going to, and I'm just sitting with it going, oh, okay, the request has been made, but I don't know what to do with it. So just kind of like like soul. What do I do with this here? Because it's just I don't know how that lands. So three other people from three other different places that same week, literally two people in person came up to me and said, I now know what I want to do with my life. I want to be a law of attraction coach like you and help people. And can you certify me? Um, don't do that, but I can tell you where I used to, when I got trained and certified. No, I want you, right? Four people that week. And so by the third time I heard it, I went like this. All right, universe, I hear you.
Mhm.
I mean, I get some random person talking to me about coach certification when I was like, why are we, I don't even, this is not even in my realm to have that come in and to have three people right in a row ask me to certify them. So I put pen to paper, I had a pad of paper, and I just went, okay, I surrender. Clearly, I'm supposed to do something with this. I, in my human form, don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, but I'm open. And that's where literally picked up the pen and a year-long coaching certification with 5 different modules, everything, every single class, every teaching point, I mean, like it was just, again, just like this flipping the pages. And this whole entire certification program, boom, right there,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? And it's like, so then the fourth person the next day says to me, oh my God, I figured it out. I know what I want to do in my life. I want to be a law of attraction coach just like you, but I want you to certify me. And I said, well, I'm working on that and I'm going to be offering that. And she said, I'll be the first person that signs up. And she was.
Mhm.
So it's like that, just even the marketing of it to get that out there. I was directed, just got the pictures, got the information of who to contact. You
Mhm.
know, how many students in each class? I had 25 in the AM class, 25 in the PM class. You know, what days they would be on, what time, when we would launch it, what times of year, how we would launch it. It was just, I kept going, give it to me and I'll run with it.
Mhm.
It was like,
Yeah.
I got you. I got the action part here, right? And I'll align myself energetically for the receiving part so that I can take inspired action.
Mhm.
So, you know, that program and doing that, I mean, probably a good $18 million in revenue over the years.
Mhm. Yeah.
I probably even 20. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing. It's just fascinating. So I did the same thing. It was like I was literally, so first of all, before I talk about me, I want to highlight the point, inspired action. So when I was 19, I had the same thing and it was like, oh, do a certification. I had no idea. I walked into a school and they're like, do your own certification program. I'm like, really? Okay. And then I wrote it in like 4 days too, right? It's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's a year. And then people like signed up. I'm like, this is what I charge. So it's just fun to relate to,
Yes.
have a similar experience and to let everybody know that your purpose is unique to you. And if you're going to listen from that inspired action and do it, it's going to be fulfilled as well. And so to me, that's what's so exciting about teaching intuition is your unique, perfect purpose is for you. As you listen and take inspired action, you're naturally going to be in that alignment. You just will because it feels really good. And then the universe is going to bring you the people, places, circumstances, and events. It's just the way it works, right? And
It,
so,
it
yeah,
is. And even if your mind doesn't get it,
yeah,
doesn't understand
yeah,
why,
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah,
can I just share quick? I want to
yeah,
share this really quick.
of course.
With my book, The Desire Factor, it's really a great book on how to manifest and how energy sets up and the 7 principles to do that. And what's interesting is that I had been sort of working on the book. It downloads. I don't write my own books. They download and then I, bring in my stories and stuff like that. And so this had been kind of like, this is the first book that wasn't a full, like a deluge of information and then I'm done. It was like here and then put it away for a bit, here, put it away for a bit. So when it was time to go start looking for a publisher, I reached out to one of my literary agents And it was so weird, Abby. It was like someone got in her head and put in some kind of program, but it was like, I cannot represent this book. It cannot get you over $100,000 in, and I'm in advance. And I'm like, I don't, that's not why that'd be great, but it's not why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like this book, this message, this information needs a home. It needs a publisher.
Yeah.
I cannot, you will not get over 100 grand for this book. I'm like, you're not listening to me, right? And so then I went to another literary agent that was like, wanting to work with me for years and had pitched other things along the way and it didn't never worked out with her, but she was like salivating, oh yeah, let's do this. So she comes back to me and it was like, sorry, I cannot represent your book. I cannot get you over $100,000 advance. And I'm like, what is happening? This is not the purpose of this book, right? It was like, what? So I literally just kind of surrendered it. I'm like, okay, dudes, I'm like, universe, hello, you've given me this masterful information and words and processes and this incredible manuscript that can help so many people that are calling this to them. I'm in surrender mode. You show me. And it was crazy. I got this just download, this picture right when I woke up in the morning of a friend of ours, Ariel Ford. And she used to be years ago a PR person. And that was what she did. She was a literary agent and she would pitch, books to certain publishers. And she had a publisher that was wanting it, that was interested in it, but I just needed a literary agent to give it to them, right? And so I reached out to, I'm like, oh, so I reached out to Ariel because the idea was, oh, maybe she could just give it to him. She used to be a literary agent. So I'm like, oh, I got this great idea. It's download, it's inspiration. I write to her, and her response back to me was, no way, Jose. Like literally just, nope, I don't do that anymore, right? Good luck, love you. Right. And it was like, okay, I respect the boundaries, but it's like, okay, I don't get it. I was guided to do that. I did that. And that it was like that door was totally closed to me. Like, what the heck? Right. And so the council was like, you took an action, you created a different pathway than the traditional, this isn't working. My head is put, I feel like I'm hitting my head. Why aren't these people listening? This is what Christy,
Yeah.
as a book author, getting a book published, knew,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But this was beyond what I knew,
Mhm.
right? This is beyond a level of guidance. And here's the crazy thing about this, right? The next day, I'm talking to a colleague, friend of mine, and she says, how's it going? Are you writing another book? And I said, well, Kelly, yeah, I'm actually in the process. I feel I'm at the point where I need a publisher. And I've got two literary agents that literally, like what I just told you, she's like, that is so bizarre. Why don't I connect you with my literary agent? And I'm like, perfect, great, that'd be awesome. She immediately hangs up with me, calls Devra, and Devra goes, yeah, I'm Facebook friends with her. And she just posted something about her dog, and I made a comment on it. And I remember the comment. And I never knew this woman, never seen any comments from her before, never had any connection, but this stood out in my mind. She is now my new literary agent that got me into Beyond Words. And they are the most amazing publishers that they are like, you know what? We love you. We love all your books. We love what you're about. Your family here. So now my second book that's coming out with them is The Flow Factor. And, it's like, it's just a easy, effortless, graceful, loving, supportive publishing experience that I won't go anywhere else. It's like I found my home.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes taking an action when you're guided, sometimes we want to go, but why bring an umbrella? It's sunny out. And then later, you know,
Yeah.
we don't know the whole big picture,
I
but our
mean,
soul does.
yeah, I just love what you said. It relates to me on so many levels. In fact, just before this interview, something similar happened. I'm like, what on the earth? It was just bizarre, but it's because there's something better, right? Because I was like, how do I interpret this? This makes no sense, right? And it's just
Yeah.
getting into the flow of, okay, there's something better. And so I just love that you shared that, of course, on purpose, because it's just there is always an interconnectedness of it all if we trust. And I love that you did. And ironically, your book is called The Flow, right? The Flow State, right? That's coming
Flow
out in
factor.
September. The
Flow
Flow what?
factor. Yeah. Flow factor.
Factor. Yep.
Yeah.
So coming out in September. So I just love that. That's really brings me back to the beginning of our conversation when something happens, like your human self is like, ooh, I don't want that to happen. But like you talked about, or we talked about the forgiveness and the love and accepting and letting it go because there's something so much better. So to trust your soul, to trust your intuition, we got your back, right? There's a higher reason.
Hmm.
And you can lean into that and touch the light, feel the light within you and share it. It's just so, so beautiful. And yeah, is there anything else you want to share about that?
Oh, there's so much to share about it. It's just, first of all, if you go to watchyourwords.com, you guys are going to get access to the meta manifestation program. It's free. And why I created it is because all of this conversation is because the words that we're choosing are high uplifting, are words, and we're exchanging them, right? It's the whole If we were like, well, we can't do that, or it's impossible, the energy would be very different in a conversation like this. So the words that we choose, they're either high vibration or not. And most people have no idea the words and the phrases that they're using are actually pulling their energy down and constricting them and bringing them into that first bucket of lack. So I created like a list of just 30 words and phrases, created videos from them, and they're like 2 to 3 minutes long. And they tell you what not to say, why, and what to say instead. Because when you start to have the awareness of your own words and how it literally changes the way you feel by correcting yourself, wait, I said that, I want to say this instead, and seeing the difference in those words, then you're going to feel different. And it is those little tiny shifts that make a huge difference. So when the book, The Flow Factor, comes out, when you join watchyourwords.com, we'll let you know so you can get a pre-copy. But it is really, Michelle from Beyond Words, she's been a publisher for years. She even did The Secret. And she said that when she read this manuscript, it changed her life in a way that she can't even describe. And it's forever changed her
Mhm.
because, we as human beings have our normal coping, our normal reaction of fight, flight, freeze, fawn. There's other ones too, but like the natural reaction to life, to someone, to something. And when we can understand that this gets blocked back here, it's the whole like animalistic part of the brain when energy can't move up to the intuition center, to the third eye, to the seventh chakra. It's like to the pineal gland, right? To like the spiritual eyeball to be able to see from a very different perspective. The energy gets blocked there and we can't create flow. And so that's why this really does help us understand how we can bring flow to those areas. So we're reacting and being in alignment naturally with flow, not from, okay, I got to resist this, or I got to push against this, or I've got to, like a bunny rabbit, like freeze, or I got to do so much and keep going and run, 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 and overdo, overthink, that kind of thing. That's another example of fleeing. And so when we can really understand what aspects of our life, what we do, now we also know that there's a choice, and the choice is flow. The choice is compassion. It's the choice is connecting with the higher perspective, which is our soul, which always holds that much higher, better feeling, right? If it's good, it's God. If it's God, it's good. If
Mhm.
that good feeling, day to day, moment to moment, human experience.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. Wow. Oh, thank you so much for being with us today. It's so fun. I could talk to you forever. Wow. Is there any just last words you want to leave the audience with at all? Just any, I don't know, motto, I don't know, sentence, affirmation?
Well, I'll leave with this. The council says this every time they sign out. They say, "You are infinitely loved."
Mm.
And one of the first times that they were sharing that, I got a sense, and it brings tears to my eyes. And it's like, I wish every single human could experience this. It just how truly supported and loved we are. It's I mean, it's just even hard to describe, but it's like the parts of us that don't feel loved or don't feel supported or don't feel in alignment with well-being or don't feel, you know, that freedom or, you know, their power or any of that. It's just bring compassion to those parts because the more you bring compassion to those parts, known and unknown, right? Then the more what you have inside of your mind and your emotions in your energy container is going to be different. And you'll find yourself that the more you call in your soul, the more you bring in that compassion for when you don't feel good, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you have compassion for yourself. It totally changed your life. And if I can do it and all my clients can do it, you also certainly can do it too. It's very powerful. It's like a superpower.
Mm-hmm. Your love and your soul are your superpowers. You will attract your best life from that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, with that, I
Yeah.
want to thank everybody for joining. You can follow us at lifeforceconnection.com and also on Instagram. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.